Hey everybody, welcome to our species spotlight on the goldfish, or Carassius auratus. The goldfish first originated in China. This was approximately some 1500 years ago when the first mutation appeared as a red carp. This species is now currently widely distributed throughout the world on various different continents and countries. And typically when this fish is introduced into wild waterways, they are a very invasive species. They reproduce very rapidly and very efficiently. In the wild, goldfish typically inhabit temperate areas in a variety of different waterways. They prefer lakes, rivers, typically with lower to very slow movement, even no movement. Ponds, streams, wetlands, a whole variety of different habitats. And of course, being a very hardy and tolerant species, this is the type of environment, or the multiple environments they can be found in. They can also tolerate salinity levels up to 70 parts per thousand. Now, in today's video, we're going to be really discussing the fancy varieties of goldfish, ones that have such common terminology as orandas, bubble eyes, rayunkins, shabunkins, fantails, moors, etc. There are a lot of different fancy varieties that have been developed. And in fact, the goldfish that we know and recognize today is a product of selective breeding. Now let's get into the behavior, tank size, compatibility, and so forth concerning the fancy goldfish. The fancy goldfish, as we already mentioned, is a product of selective breeding. And one thing that it shares in common with many of the different varieties, if not just about all of them, is that it's a shorter bodied form of goldfish, meaning it has a shorter spine and it has all of its organs compacted into a much smaller area, giving it a kind of a balloon shape. So this has obvious effects on its physiology and does make it more prone to certain issues for which you can take preventative measures and should be aware of. The typical size of fancy goldfish of that variety is somewhere between 7 and 8 inches long, or approximately about 20 centimeters or a little bit more. The typical behavior of goldfish is really a fish that likes to rummage and forage throughout the aquarium, more so on the bottom of the aquarium than anywhere else. It prefers to swim in a school. Males will occasionally chase females around, sometimes quite avidly when they're filled with roe and spawning is imminent. When it comes to plants, goldfish are pretty avid plant eaters. They will readily devour most species of plants. Goldfish are peaceful in nature. They are a fish that really is not aggressive in any way, shape, or form. They are also totally devoid of any defense mechanisms. Their really only defense when it comes to interacting with other fish is to flee. And they can't do that very well because of their physiology. When it comes to fancy goldfish, the shorter body form, big fins, they're not a fast-moving fish. So for best results, it's really strongly recommended that you mix fancy goldfish together and keep only fancy goldfish together. Mixing them with much larger wild forms like comets or larger koi is also really not a good idea, and it's certainly not a good idea to mix them with tropical fish that have all kinds of specialty behaviors and so forth. So keep them with other goldfish and all should go well. When it comes to differences between male and female goldfish, when looking at them from above, it's pretty evident that females are the rounder of the two, especially as they're conditioned and filled with roe and spawning is imminent. You will see that they have a more rotund shape versus a male. Males also, prior to breeding time, will develop white little nodules on their pectoral fins and on their gill plates. While fancy goldfish are relatively hardy in nature, they are more delicate versus, for example, the longer bodied forms, the more common goldfish or the common goldfish. They are, as we mentioned before, they're more compact physiology and the compression of their organs does lead them more prone to bloat and certain issues where swim bladder related issues where air may become trapped in the swim bladder, or it may be affected by movement again due to the pressure of other organs, and they lose their balance. So it is very important that you undertake some preventative measures, and every once in a while provide them with some roughage, such as steamed or fresh vegetables, to help their digestive system and allow them to clear their bowels out with ease. When it comes to fancy goldfish varieties, they are available in different varieties, sporting different finnage. You'll even have some that lack a dorsal fin, for example. So a lot of different fin varieties are available, slightly different rotund body shapes as well. And the color variation is large. There's reds, whites, blacks, blues, grays, and so forth. A lot of different variations. There's also a mixture, calico kind of forms of goldfish as well. So there's a lot, they have a lot to offer in terms of color variation. The colors are intense as well. When it comes to housing fancy goldfish, we really prefer keeping them in a group. And so for that reason, given the size that they attain, which is pretty big, and their eating habits and filtration requirements and so forth, if you're going to be keeping a group of around 6 goldfish of a nice fancy variety that gets 7, maybe 8 inches long, then you really need to be looking at about a 50 US gallon aquarium or 200 liters. Now, the best type of aquarium setup when keeping fancy goldfish is a kind of a more open look to your aquarium, you know, smooth gravel or pebbles, some smooth stones. Any wood you might include shouldn't have sharp edges or really branchy, pointy type decor. You want to avoid that. Goldfish are avid plant eaters, so that makes it a challenge. They will normally nibble and try to eat most plants. You can try some larger Vallisneria species. Sometimes they leave those alone. But in general, they're really not a good species to keep with plants, and you want to make sure there's plenty of swimming space, and the setup really should be open and avoid any sharp edges. When it comes to water conditions for the proper maintenance of fancy goldfish, you want to have good filtration capacity, something with a large filter area surface, a variety of different medias, and you also want to make sure that there is a strong water flow, but not so strong that the fish are going to be struggling against it all the time. Now, when it comes to water temperature range, it should be somewhere between 68 and 76 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 to 24.5 degrees Celsius. The ideal pH range is somewhere between 7 to 7.8. And when it comes to hardness, a little less important, they tolerate a wide range, but somewhere between 3 and 18 to 20 degrees DH is typically fine for goldfish. When it comes to feeding goldfish, they're not a fussy feeding fish at all. They're omnivores, and they really should be given a variety of different flakes and pellets. We prefer slow sinking pellets, for example, versus floating. You know, the fish, they do like to rummage about the bottom constantly for food, so slow sinking are really a better option for them. And it should contain a good amount of vegetable matter. That is important for them for digestive purposes. And when it comes to protein, Bug Bites shines with their goldfish diets thanks to the black soldier fly larva. Very easy protein to digest, a very natural one to digest for goldfish. Another very important thing to remember to do is, as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, make sure to provide your goldfish with a regular supplement of freshly steamed or parboiled peas, spinach, broccoli, for example. Soften it up really good. You can mash it a bit and then give it to them. They'll readily eat that, and that is an excellent way for you to avoid having any issues with goldfish that develop intestinal blockages, which can be lethal to them. In summary, goldfish have a very long history in both aquarium and pond keeping. They have been evolved into a variety of different forms, body shapes, finnage, colors. There's really something to meet everybody's interest and liking when it comes to goldfish. And children as well really like them for obvious reasons, the visibility, the colors, and so forth. They're a great choice, hardy and really nice. But remember, keep them with other goldfish. Pay a few precautions to some of their needs when it comes to diet and not mixing them with tropical fish. So if you respect those few rules, believe me, goldfish are a really fun and interesting addition to your aquatic keeping. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. We love hearing from you. Until the next time.